So let's start, and if more people will come in, then they can just join in and ask their questions as well. Okay, so before we begin, thank you everyone for being here today with us. I'd like to acknowledge that we live, work, and play in the traditional territories of the Likongan peoples of the coast state of the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. And we are very fortunate today to have Tony Sprackett from the Office of MP Laurel Collins. Their office has generously offered their time to answer all of our questions regarding COVID-19 benefits and services from the federal government. And we do know that it's been a very hard time for many of us, especially international students and the temporary foreign workers who face a lot of uncertainty during this time. So having someone like their office with us today is really it's a sign that we do have support from the government, and some we can speak to people who can support us and clarify things with us, and so that we will feel included and not excluded during this crisis. So before I introduce Tony, I'd like to turn the floor over to Lara first for our Zoom etiquette rules. Lara?
One thing important to know, we are recording this meeting because some people couldn't attend. So we're gonna share the meeting and try to answer the questions for people that couldn't be here today. So let me know if you have any problem with this, and yeah, about recording.
Thank you, Lara, for that. So everyone, thank you for being here, and I will introduce Tony, and he will also say more a bit about himself. But since we're also a small group, we'd like to request everyone to just say who they are and perhaps their affiliation, so that it's more for the benefit of Tony as well. As most of us, we know each other in this group, but for him, so he also knows the people he is interacting with today. So yeah, so Tony is with us today, and he's been with the Office of MP Laurel Collins doing federal individual casework for about 3 years now. And we've been chatting with him for the past 2 weeks to arrange this and organize this event. And thank you again for your generosity and your time, Tony. And I give the floor to you. Yeah. Okay.
There. I always forget that. It's really an honor to be here on Laurel's behalf, and she wanted to send greetings of solidarity. She is meeting with the NDP caucus. They are meeting every day to try and get these COVID benefits modified. So as Abby said, I've been doing this work for about 3 years. It's almost a year with Laurel Collins, and I did it for Murray Rankin before. We had no COVID epidemic, so it was a little bit different world back then. Now it's become pretty complicated. And I just want to give you a slight overview of why it's complicated. Our party suggested from the get-go that when these benefits were rolled out, that they should be made universal. There is a lot less policy to develop in very short time, as it turned out they had to do now. So you've seen probably Prime Minister Trudeau come on almost every morning to modify the plans that they rolled out to try and make sure that people were looked after who had been left out. And we found there were so many people that were left out from these various announcements, and they just patch it together as time goes on. So it creates a lot of stress for people that are trying to access the benefits and just survive right now. We don't think it needed to be that way. However, that's what we have to work with. And it's pretty complex to understand it all. So the reason I tell you that right now is, so you'll understand where this all came from, but also to realize that some of these questions that you may ask me today are probably going to be a little bit too complex for me to answer off the top of my head. However, I will follow every one of them up and try and figure out the answer for you. I think that's it from me.
Next. And I'd like to invite everyone now to please introduce yourself briefly, your name and your affiliation, or why you're here. So maybe let's start with Serena.
Hi, Tony and everyone. Thank you for giving this opportunity to us. My name is Serena. I'm an international student. I just recently graduated in the middle of this pandemic. So it's not a good time to search a job or to look for forward, but we survive. My problem here today, I will most probably ask the question later on. Because of this pandemic, our family is trying to reunite with my husband, who's in Turkey at the moment. So my question will be about how you will be able to support international student spouses to exempt from this travel restrictions. And thank you.
Thank you, Serena. Val?
I'm Val. I'm an international student in Brazilian. Right now I'm away to my husband. I come to Canada. He's a Brazilian too, and he's way to have a work permit visa. And I would like to say thanks for the opportunity to talk to you and everyone.
Thank you, Val. Sarah?
Hello, everyone. I'm a human rights advocate working at the Vancouver Island Human Rights Coalition. I'm here to see if there are any information that I need to know in order to be able to support people who reach out to us. And thanks for taking the time.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Jimmy?
Hi, my name is Jimmy. I am Val's husband. I am from Brazil. I am Brazil now, and I'm here. I'm trying to take the work permit, and I'm here to know you people and learn more for this complicated times, and just to think with my wife how to pass through this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Mira.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Tony. So first of all, I would like to thank for this opportunity to speak up and also to hear what is going on. So in my situation, I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm still an international student. In my case, I live here with my family, with my kids and myself. And with this COVID-19 start, my husband actually got stuck in the country, back in Kazakhstan. And like situation with Serena and Val, I think, thinking of how we can make sure that our spouses can reunite with our families. The concern is that even if they start traveling to Canada, that they may got stuck at the border and will not be allowed in. Because of this, we're trying to understand this non-essential and essential trips. So, but other than that, I still would like to hear what's going on in general. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mira. Okay, Daniil?
Said, hopefully to learn a few things that I can use to assist the international students that I support every day.
Thank you, Daniil. And next is Nayat.
Hello, I'm from Turkey. I'm one of the lucky students because my husband is with me. ideas and to learn more about the situations and what kind of things we can get from the government or other organizations, just to hear and learn more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nayat. Let's move on to Anna.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Well, my name is Anna, as you already know, and I'm a counselor from working with Vancouver Island Counseling Center for Immigrants and Refugees. And mostly my interest is because this, which is part in the kind of work that we do. So looking forward to learning more through this session.
Thank you, Anna. And Mariana? Hold on.
Yeah. Hi, people. I am Mariana. This is Humberto, my husband. We are currently in Brazil. We used to live in Victoria for 4 years. And we moved back to Brazil for a while. Now that we got our PR card, we are waiting to do the landing. But unfortunately, we had to postpone our plans. So we are here to learn about the situation there in Victoria. And for me especially, I want to learn more about jobs and the real situation in the country. And thank you for having us.
Okay. Thank you, Mariana. So if Hina and Hayoung are there, okay. So thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. And so maybe Tony, because of some people already shared why they're here, maybe let's start with that question about what constitutes essential and non-essential travel, so we can navigate the reunification part for those who are apart from their spouses and families.
I was able to find some information on what constitutes essential and not, and the exemptions to the restrictions. Just give me a second here while I pull this up. So it's quite a long, complex answer, as you can imagine. Basically what they do is make a list of positions that are deemed essential. Now, so far, I have not found anything that deems your spouse to be essential just because they're your spouse. So if they were coming on a work permit for an employment that is deemed to be essential in nature, that is like healthcare workers or police or ambulance driver, that sort of thing, then you do meet the criteria. But so far, honestly, I have not found anything that said the spouse is essential. We can certainly try to make those cases for people, and we're happy to try and help with that on a case-by-case basis. But I think that's where we're going to end up with that. I'm sorry to tell you, I wish there was some better hope. I think we just have to recognize that right now we're in a horrible situation, like all over the world. Maybe on Vancouver Island, we're a little more fortunate than most people. But the travel restrictions remain for good reason, not feel like good reasons to you right now as those being victimized by that. That's my answer on that one, I think, for now. So I would encourage anybody with questions about a particular situation to tell me what yours is by
Tony? So I will refer you to Serena, for example, who might be willing to share a bit about her situation, for example. So let's just say we're like she's an international student after her 2 kids at the moment, homeschooling them, for example, and the husband, for example, has a work permit, can't come here, if she would appeal her case, where would she file a case like that? Or maybe Serena, you could clarify some things about your situation.
You did a great introduction about myself. Yeah, this is my case, Tony. My husband has a work permit, open work permit in Turkey, and he used to live with us 2 months before the pandemic happened, but then he had to go back to Turkey and couldn't come back. But in the meantime, he established a business here, so he's a self-employed, waiting for him. But what is the best way for us to start? Like, I contacted the Canadian Embassy in Turkey to get the letter of exemption, and then I was directed to the immigration office department of the Canadian Embassy in Turkey, but they told me that they can only help to Canadian citizens or the PR holders, so they're not, I guess, the international students' spouses are not included in those cases. So I want to know how can I, which paths I should follow to make this possible.
And I can't answer that off the top of my head. I'll have to consult with you individually, and I'm happy to take your case forward. And Laurel is very supportive of all of this type of thing. So you're going to hear that a lot from me today, unfortunately, because it's a very complex world with the immigration ministry to begin with, and then way more complicated with all these restrictions. So that's what I'm going to tell you, Serena. Please contact me. I'll ask you for the details of your situation. Well, he's an entrepreneur, not an essential worker, right?
Yes, the only thing is that I can say, my husband is he's a mechanical engineer, and he's producing medical devices. So his company, he incorporated here, that he will produce medical devices in Turkey and marketing to North America. So I'm not sure if this is a part of this essential work that we can go through, or
I would go for that.
Okay.
We can give that a shot. That sounds like a ray of hope to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So anyone who has a question related or similar to Serena's case, perhaps?
So Mariana is raising her hand.
Go for it, Mariana.
Hi, I'll talk on behalf of Mariana because our phone is charging and she's helping here.
No
So what's going on basically? I read the whole restriction, and from what I read, we became PR before March 18th. So technically, we are entitled to go back to Canada. However, we were planning to go on June 1st, and of course that's not gonna happen. And the thing is that the government gave us the deadline of October 24th to finish the whole process, to get there and show our documents, all the supporting documents, and then they will get us the PR card. We don't have the PR card yet. We just got approved while we were here visiting our family in Brazil. The thing is that the only flight from Brazil is an Air Canada flight from São Paulo to Toronto. They discontinued with that. Air Canada is going through a bad time. I don't know if you guys read, they had to downsize their operations for like 60%. And 2 days ago, the USA, they restricted travelers from Brazil. So the logistics became quite complicated. So my question is there a way that we can postpone that date? The deadline in our case to finish the whole process is October 24th. Is there a way that we can explain to the government? Everything was made through federal government.
Do you guys think that in October?
Wait a minute, Marianne is saying something. Okay,
And I would like to hear from you if you think that by October or September or December, I don't know, things will get close to what we used to have. I just want to hear your thoughts and feelings about
All
the
right.
future.
I believe that question is impossible to answer about the future. Obviously, we don't know. Maybe there's going to be a second wave coming. That seems to be a popular belief among the scientific community. So who knows about that one? However, we can certainly advocate for an extension for you on that October 24th date that you talked about, and we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, because that would be awesome, because we're thinking about that, but we're not quite sure if we wait till September maybe to things to go back to normal, but we never know, or we start to get all the supporting documents to try to postpone that date to till next year maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the situation could be better and it could be worse by then too. We don't really know at this point, unfortunately. And then, of course, you have the added dilemma, like you talked about, with the airlines' diminished capacity. We don't know how that's going to play out. So there's still a lot of unknowns in this. Still, I'm happy to support, along with Laurel, an individual extension request if you want to go that route.
All right, thank you. Later on, I'll send an email with all the details.
Great. I think actually, yeah, it's going to be a two-part process. There are certain like tombstone information that I need to provide immigration to even do a status check or ask the question. Although, do you have an application in process now?
We already finished that. They already they gave us our passports back with the PR visa, but as soon as we need to do what they call landing. So as soon as we get to Canada, it takes about 3 weeks to process, to make the PR card. So we are in that process. But right now, friends of ours that went through a similar situation, they said that instead of 3 weeks before the COVID crisis, the whole process was taking about 60 days. So we were planning to stay for a while in Canada till we get the PR card for both of us. Both of us got it approved. But now we're not sure. One thing that concerned us is that if we miss the deadline, which is October 24th, the thing that we work hard for would be down the drain. That's our main concern.
I understand. Well, I'm hopeful that we can help with that.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, Tony, that you can assist in possibly extending that and advocating for them. Does anyone in the room have a similar question or similar situation as Mariana and her husband? Any related question to that?
Oh, here so Val asked me here, like, since, and you guys can please correct me if I'm wrong, in Jimmy's situation, since he's waiting for his work permits to be accepted, do you think that we are all in this during the coronavirus, do you think his work permit will be more difficult to be accepted, or it will take more time?
I'm sorry, which person are we talking about now?
Me.
Jim and Val, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, the work permit is an open work permit?
Yes, he will apply.
Okay, because what I've discovered so far in my research that I was able to do today on it only listed essential worker categories as being processed right now. What sort of work does he do?
Yeah, because I'm a student, international student, he came to give me a support too.
Okay, and you have kids?
Yes, I have one kids, but my kids live together. My parents. No kids here, just
Okay.
me.
Okay, so I honestly, on the face of it, it doesn't sound like we have a strong case for that because of the essential worker thing. That said, I'm still willing to investigate this more for you to see if there is any opportunity to proceed with that based on your individual details. So an email, I'll be happy to follow up with you personally on it.
Okay, I send email to you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So thank you, Val, for that. Related also to permits or applications that are expiring, we had a question from someone earlier today about the IRCC. Will they be offering some sort of extension for postgraduate work permits that are expiring but cannot be granted at the moment because embassies are getting delayed in delivering passports from certain countries? Would you know something about that? If IRCC is flexible or there's an appeal process for that?
Just 1 second. I did see something on that today. It doesn't come up under extension. I'm sorry, there was too much. I could not remember it, but they talked about a 90-day period when you could still have implied status. So it had to do with that. I think, again, I'm going to suggest that the individual contact me directly. And I'm happy to help. Some of this stuff I have to investigate. I wish I was smart enough to know it all off the top of my head, but unfortunately I'm not.
Okay, thank you. So any questions from the group before I read the other questions sent to us? Written questions?
All right, here's another question about the benefits. I was a worker. I worked for a year and a half at BMO. Then I came here to visit my family, and then this whole thing happened. The question I have is, the only way to get the benefit is through CRA. You need to be enrolled with CRA so they can make a direct deposit into your account, or they're sending checks to your address? Because my concern is that they might be sending checks to my former address, and right now I don't have a contact with them. However, the other day I noticed that the CRA sent me a message that something was deposited into my account related to that, and so I don't know if that benefit comes in a monthly basis and all of that.
The initial payment for CERB is a 1 month payment, $2,000 payment, if it's CERB that we're talking about. And then after that, it's bi-weekly.
So it wasn't that, because the payment was not even close to $2,000. It was something related to, I think maybe it was something related to my like a tax refund that came in the exact same time as the whole benefits discussion was being made. So I made the assumption that was related to the benefit, since I was a worker there in Canada and a taxpayer. But anyway, so I'll figure that. But it's paid through direct deposit then.
It can be either check or direct deposit. Direct deposit is preferred, and it's faster for you to receive money always too. That said, I can look into that one with either Service Canada or CRA, whoever you applied through. It does make a difference which doorway you used for your application. But it sounds to me like either you're receiving EI or you just got some kind of refund.
Yeah, because it was kind of odd, you know. I got a email from the bank that I used to work. It's the same bank that I have my account, and they said, no, we need you to fill it out, all the information, like SIM number, all of that, so we can have. It was a legit email, right? It was through the online banking. So I did that with my SIM number and all of that, and then I got a refund, but it was not even close to $2,000. So I was a little bit surprised. And then at the same time, I was like, I don't know if I'm entitled to that, because I'm a permanent resident, but I'm at this moment I'm stuck in Brazil basically. So I was kind of confused. So I went through the CRA website, filled out all my information, did my file my taxes. That worked fine, but I'm not sure. I didn't do it through Service Canada. Everything I did was through CRA.
Okay, so I can certainly find that out for you. Frankly, you're the first person I've talked to who's inquired about those benefits outside of Canada. I'm not so sure that you're going to be eligible because you're out of the country, although you would meet the requirements based on your employment history that you told me about, and the fact that I mean, if you were here, you would certainly be eligible for it. I don't know about being temporarily out of the country, what that means. So again, I'll have to follow up on an individual basis with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know it's kind of a weird situation that we're dealing with here, but that's the thing, because when I got that first deposit, I thought it was the benefit, but it was a little bit odd. But anyway, but I appreciate your help.
Happy to do it.
Right. Thank you. So related to the question on benefits, we also had a question about why are international students not allowed or not included in the CESB package of the government?
I can't answer why that is. The government wanted to, of course, it's economic, right? They wanted to spend the minimum that they could and still provide the supports to people. I know that some international students were able to get supports, CERB among them, if they met the requirement to earn $5,000 in the past 12 months. Then you could be eligible as certain students were eligible and others were not.
Yes. So yeah, that's the first question that came up. Sorry.
Yeah.
When CESB arrived, because some students didn't, as you said, meet the minimum amount of money that they should have earned last year to qualify for CERB. Because some of them just arrived in January, for example. Some of them have not been here long enough. Some of them have not been able to get work to qualify for that. So they were hoping that CESB would be something they could avail of because it's of the same amount. So do you think, let's say we advocate for ourselves regarding this to be included in the CESB, you think it's possible and the government will respond? Like, how do we go about doing this?
I would suggest that you go through our office. We're certainly happy to try and correct all of these problems with it. Whether we can or not, who knows, but we at least have the ability to talk to some of the government officials through Laurel, of course, the member of parliament, and she can raise these issues where we see some inequity with it.
Thank you for that, Tony. Anyone else who would like to ask a question before I move on to the written questions? Sanwa. Okay.
Hi, Sanwa.
Yeah, all right. I'm an international student, and then I was in car accident December 20th, 2019, last year. And then I should leave my job because of that accident. And then I applied EI sick benefit this year in February. And then I was not eligible to get sick benefit because because my insurance hours are not enough. And then now I applied the CRB twice, and then I got $4,000. And then I asked to CRA agent, and then I explained my situation, and then I'm looking for a job now, and then but I couldn't find a job because of COVID-19, and then I don't have any income, and then and anyway I earned $5,000 last year.
Okay.
And then but CR agent answered me, she can't say yes or not. It's up to you. It's your decision. And then I was wondering after I got $4,000, so I called Service Canada because my friend suggested me to call Service Canada. There might be like a very exact answer, or so I asked Service Canada agent, and then she told me you left your job because of car accident. So she told me I have to repay $4,000 that I got. So I already sent the check, but still I'm wondering, I'm why I'm not like eligible to get CRB, or there is any benefit to get that I can get.
My understanding from your situation you described to me is you would be eligible. So I wish you hadn't sent them back the money already if you need it. I would like to follow that one up for you as well.
All right. I want to like exact answer about my case. And then actually my Korean friends told me you might get some penalty if you get like a wrong CRB. So that's why I was worried. That's why I refund that one.
Okay, so this is a useful answer for everybody to know. They have promised that there will be no penalties associated with a CERB overpayment. There are so many people that are going to be in that position. And what the government has said, they will sort it out at tax time, but they are not going to take a heavy-handed approach to collecting that money. So if in fact, for example, in your case, you got a $4,000 overpayment, they're not going to take it from you all in one shot and put your life upside down.
So you think I have like still some possibility to get some like to get CRB? I might be eligible to get CRB still.
In my understanding, yes. So
right.
I would like to follow that up with you. I'm hopeful that you would be eligible. To my understanding, if you collected medical EI or EI regular since December of 2019, that you were eligible for CERB. I'm not clear why that lady or why that agent told you that.
The reason that I was not able to get a CRB, she mentioned that you left the job because of car accident, not because of COVID-19. That's the reason.
Yeah, okay. However, you did have an EI claim going, some kind of EI claim going since December of 2019. So to my understanding, that makes you eligible. So I really want to follow that one up.
Also, even though I applied sick benefit and then they refused my claim because my insurance hours are not enough.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't understand that. You did not get an EI then?
No.
Okay, but you met the $5,000 criteria.
Yeah, I earned $5,000 last year.
And you cannot get employment. Let's see, you didn't lose employment due to COVID. Is that the case?
I didn't lose my job because of COVID-19 directly, I think, because last December wasn't under COVID-19.
Right. However, right now you can't find a job because of COVID.
Right, it's true. So and then there is another detail is that I applied sick benefit because I got injured, right? And then when I applied sick benefit, I needed doctor note. And then my doctor mentioned on the paper, and then I can work 4 from June or from May, this May or this June. I'm eligible. I'm able to work. He mentioned, that doctor mentioned. So now I'm able to work, but I'm looking for a job, and then there's no opportunity to get.
So I think we need to have a conversation one-on-one about this.
All right.
So
Thank you.
You to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And I wish you wouldn't have sent the money back already.
Oh, I see. Yeah, all right. And I appreciate your support, because I want to talk about that detail.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sanwa. Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. The purpose of the CERB is for the government to roll out support to people who need it right now, and they will assess the eligibility next tax audit year, correct? So the purpose is just to help people survive during this crisis.
Yeah,
correct?
That's right. And so that led us to an interesting place because, as Sunwa just proved, they give you the money. They're not going to not give you the money in almost every case. The only question is whether you were truly eligible for it. And if you were not truly eligible for it, when everything gets sorted out, then they're going to put a soft repayment in place.
Okay. So in her case, would you recommend that she still keep applying for the next application period?
I'm going to suggest in her case that she get me to do some investigation on it.
Thank you. Okay, we had a question also yesterday about someone looking for a good immigration lawyer who can advise them on similar situations like this. And would you like to share about what your office has done so far, Tony?
Sure. So as I've said from the beginning of all this, I am not an immigration professional. The main thing that our office does is assist with communications between the immigration ministry and you, the constituent. So very often I tell people, look, I'm not qualified to give you this advice. I don't want to give you bad advice. I'm going to give you a list of immigration lawyers and consultants in Victoria, and you can consult with one of them. So I'll be happy to share via Avi that list after for anybody who wants it.
Thank you, Tony. Jibril, did you want, like, for example, can you tell us maybe a bit more about the casework, the refugees you're working with, and what benefits they've been able to access? Would you like to share that with us, and if you have any questions related to that?
The refugees I sponsored are actually they started working before this pandemic, and they negotiated. They decided one person to stay home and take care of Jasmine, the baby. There's a daughter, and the wife was still working at the long-term care, home care. and the husband was working at the Walmart, and now he's applying for EI, not for the CERB, because it will affect me if he apply for any benefits within 1 year window of sponsorship. Yeah, I'm responsible to provide him in any of his first year in Canada, I think.
Now, are you sure that CERB is part of that? Have you looked into that specifically?
Yes, I consulted with the church who helped me sponsor these refugees, and they said if he has enough hours, he can only apply for EI, which was approved, and then he's qualified. He has enough hours for that.
Oh, okay, but are they saying he cannot apply for CERB?
Yes.
I think that might be inaccurate. I saw something when I was doing my review, and I can't find it right now, but I want you to follow up with me on that question, because I believe that I believe that I saw that you can apply for CERB as somebody who's sponsored without any impact to the sponsor.
Okay, I will contact you through Avi for this specific case.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just have a follow-up question for Tony. So could you explain the process to us? For example, what benefit is it to go through your office rather than us, calling someone randomly? What is the mechanics within the government? Why it would, you advocating for us would make our situation better? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, two very good reasons for that. The first one is good luck trying to get somebody on the phone. All right. It's going to drive you crazy, especially Service Canada or CRA, anybody like that. Immigration Ministry, forget about it. They never answered the phone in the first place. Never mind now. So we can help with that. We pick up the phone a lot better than they do. And then we also have backdoor channels that are provided for the Member of Parliament. So we have a specific section in CRA, in Service Canada, Immigration, where we can go with our Member of Parliament questions, only for Member of Parliament. And that's where we take our individual casework questions too. The other thing is, in some cases, we can provide, a letter of support, perhaps, where it's where it might help. In some cases, it does help a little bit. It's not going to overturn a decision or get them to ignore a rule that you can't meet. However, it can help in some cases. So those are the reasons why it's good to go through your Member of Parliament. And one thing I want to caution everybody here too, if you are not in Laurel Collins riding per se, then it may be that I have to refer you to another Member of Parliament. However, I can figure all that out for you and give you the contact info if it isn't our office that is responsible for your query.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, that really helps us a lot, because we've been told, for example, that if you're an international student, you don't vote, so you don't have a voice. So for your office to be doing this, yeah, many of us are still temporary foreign workers and international students. We still can't vote, but for you to help us in this manner, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, you are still a constituent of ours if you live in our riding, even though you can't vote.
Yeah, okay. There's a question that was sent on the chat box. I'll just read it to you at the moment. It's from Nayat, and she's just saying that she cannot unmute herself at the moment because of our daughter. Okay, her question is, my college has charged almost $2,000 less for summer courses because of pandemic and converting to online courses. But for the fall of 2020, they are charging the normal fee, actually with an increase than last year. So I wrote an email asking the reason for charging more since we will not have face-to-face class this fall. So the summer tuition adjustment was a one-time initiative. We're no longer able to offer that as the Ministry of Advanced Education has asked us to follow the tuition fees as announced on our website. This is not necessarily a difference between semesters. We have not changed the announced fees. That's their answer.
Okay, so this one is a BC question. It's not a federal question because, as you said, Ministry of Advanced Education. So they need to take those concerns to their BC member of the legislature.
Okay.
To find out who that is, you can just do a Google search for Find My MLA BC.
And then they can write to that MLA.
Yeah, the contact information and everything will come up for them. We have some really good ones in Victoria. And as a matter of fact, the Minister of Education is an MLA in Victoria.
Right. But just a follow-up question to that. Does not the federal government have a policy that's standard for all schools and universities across Canada for changing tuition fees? Is there no such blanket policy?
Not to my knowledge, no. It's all BC.
It's all provincial. It's provincial. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Any other questions from the group? Okay, so if there are no more questions, I just want to make sure, Mira, for example, if you're there, like I know you have a specific situation, if you wanted to ask that question.
Actually, now I was listening to all the questions around, and I have a quite clear understanding of the situation, even with myself. And I would like to continue with Serena later to get some updates. But in general, I got very good understanding of the situation. So thank you for asking.
Okay. And
thank you.
Again, I just want to encourage anybody, if you think of something after, feel free to send me an email or give me a phone call. The folks here will have my contact information available.
Okay. Thank you, Amira. And so, Tony, I will just ask you now to talk a little bit about, as you said, the process that we will go through. Do they email me? Do they email you? What's the best way? And I know you will be sending some federal links, as you said. So let's just, if you could just give us an overview of what will happen after this session.
Okay, well, it's just a matter of getting my contact information to everybody. I'm happy to receive things directly from each of you that has an issue. I don't know how you want to share that with everybody, Abby. I could type it in the chat.
Yeah, I could type it in right now. Your email address?
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah. Okay, so if there are no more questions from the other people in the group, I think we're good. Tony has extended his help to all of us regarding our specific situation, so thank you. And I'd just like to thank everyone in the room for being here today. And I hope that just stay strong, you know. We don't know the future, as Tony said, it's uncertain, but if we keep communicating with each other and just updating each other of what's happening in our lives, I think that's crucial to surviving this crisis. So thank you for being in the room, and stay active in our WhatsApp group for any kind of support that you want. Lara will be there, Fiona will be there, and I will be somewhere else. No, I will still be here. I will just take on a new role in the community, which we will let you know soon. But we will still be here to support you. So thank you, everyone. Any last words from anyone who would like to say thank you to Tony, perhaps, or just Or do the
Thank
clap,
you,
or do
Avi,
the
for
thumbs up.
thank you, Avi, for facilitating this session. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
Tony,
you
would you like?
for being there.
Thank you. Tony, would you like to say any last words? Okay?
It was really nice to meet all of you, and I understand that this is a brutal time that we haven't been through before. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's figuring it out as we go along, and you all seem like intelligent people to me. I hope it's going to work out for everybody, but we will try and help any way that we can.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Lara.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Nice to see you all.
Did you take a screenshot of this meeting?
Oh, Lara,
sure.
can you?
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.